A big hello to all of you lovely people out there. Thank you for zapping in. Today I want to talk a bit more about my project codenamed Discovery, which is the search for the ultimate compact long-range drone. And as I told you before in my introduction video, every project that I do goes through 4 phases. The first phase is the concept ideation phase, second phase is the design phase, third phase is the construction phase, and finally flying and improving. And today for Project Discovery, we're in the concept phase, and I want to share with you a bit more about my ideas for what I want to do. One thing that was strongly influencing me when I was looking into long range was, and I'm not alone here, I know, is the project from Dave C, which is called microlongrange. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it by now. It was made into a product by Flywoo as the Flywoo Explorer long range. And what was appealing is that long range being possible with such a small drone, because in the past long range drones usually were pretty large, like 7-inch is the usual size of a long range quad. And that's why the micro long range, I guess, got so much attention, because, I don't know, for those of you that are actively flying, I'm well aware that you, know the question from, people walking by when you're flying. The first questions that they're asking is always, how long does it fly? How much does it cost? And stuff like that. So the flight time is always very important. And the micro long range, especially with lithium ion batteries, just flies a really long time. So that's very interesting. And when I got into long range, I was getting or I was building a micro long range with a Dave C frame that I had cut by CNC Madness. And I built that and I was flying it and I was enjoying it. And then I was curious to see how different it would be to have a different another size of frame, and that's when I saw that Dave C also did a mini long range, which is a 5-inch setup with a frame that has a different design, and I really liked the idea, so I got that as well and checked it out, and I gathered experiences with both of these frames, and this was mainly what led to the idea that I followed after. And in order to share with you my ideas and experiences of these two setups, let's hop over to the bench and then I'll explain in detail what I think about these. Alright, welcome to my bench. Most of the times you'll be seeing this during the construction phase video. This time also for the concept phase, because we are looking at ta-da! This is the Dave C micro long range frame that I had CNC cut and built with my chosen parts that I'll be telling you about. Yeah, well, the first thing is that I'm using the DJI Cat-X Vista with the normal DJI camera, so no Nebula, although the latest version seems to be doing finally pretty well. Cat-X Vista here in the back. Motors, I'm using Emax 1404, Emax Eco 1404, 3800 kV. And I'm very satisfied with these. I also use the eyefly 1404. I didn't really notice much of a difference. So they are just fine. These are the HQ prop 2-bladed propellers. I really like the noise that they make because they are really pleasing to the ear, and also they create enough thrust, not too much because the pitch is not too crazy, and it's also 2-bladed, but especially for long range builds, they are very efficient, so they are always my first choice to try out when I'm building long range builds. Then for the electronics inside, I'm using the HGLRC and F7 board. I really like it a lot because it has large solder pads and everything on board that you could probably need. And like even a black box flash, several UARTs that are easily accessible with these large solder pads, and yeah. so you can easily connect the DJI and the GPS at the same time, and also many other things. I really, for these separate stack builds, this is my favorite flight control. And then we have a diatone Mamba ESC board. It's very difficult to see at the moment, just telling you, with I think 30 amps, and these are difficult to get usually single, so I usually get a stack and then sell the flight control, which is also what I did here. Then we have, for the receiver, I have a Crossfire Nano receiver up here, connected to an Immortal T, which is locked down with zip ties, because with this mount, the one that comes with the frame, this is the way to go for me, at least. In the back, there is the GPS. I'm using a Byton BN180 GPS here, which is okay. I mean, it's super cheap. Like, very often you can get it for less than $10 per piece, and it sometimes takes a bit to get satellites, but usually this is working just fine. And I'm using a adapter from UFL, from the Calyx Vista, to a, it's difficult to see here, to a SMA mount, and then I have a TBS Triumph antenna that I mount here, because for long range builds, in my opinion, it's very important that you make sure that the antenna can be, I can't even get it fully on the frame. The antenna has a visual connection to the goggles in our case, and if I put the battery up here, then it's perfectly fine. Battery. I'm using a lithium-ion 3-cell battery, usually on this frame. It has a I built these myself, so I soldered them, and they are providing a decent enough flight time, and also these, I'm using the Sony VTC6 cells, which are commonly used for the setup, and they provide enough amps. I mean, not enough, of course, as a normal lithium polymer battery, but well enough, and I'm very satisfied with these. So this is my build. I was getting around 22 minutes of flight time with the setup, which is actually a bit more than what I expected. Regarding the weight that I have, let's see, I have, without the battery, I have 100 and, I don't know, can you see? It's 158, and with the battery it is 314. Let's check, is this correct? Yes. Yeah, so 314, so it's not sub 250G, but it has a lithium-ion battery. Usually this is what kills it. The battery alone weighs, like one cell usually weighs around 50 grams, then with cables and so on, so usually it's a bit over 50 grams per cell, so 156 is what we have here. You can also fly this with a 4-cell battery, but I don't feel like the frame is made for that, because also, like, visually, you know, just, it looks weird. And that's also what I was saying in another video. Usually frames look really awesome until you put the battery on, and then, you know, it's just not really that nice anymore. But with the 3S setup, this is working very well. So I was really satisfied with this. All right, so now what are the things that I don't like about this frame, and what is something that I want to make differently when I approach my design? A small disclaimer, when I was checking the video, I felt like I need to really stress out something. I really love Dave's designs. I think they're awesome, and they're a big benefit to the whole FPV scene, and I hope he'll be continuing to produce these amazing designs in the future. What I'm going to be talking about here today is just my personal preferences, which I feel some parts of the frame do not match these things that I just want to have with a frame, and this is why I'm talking about these, and this is also why I started to do my own design. And I'm just talking about these now, but just to say again, I really think what Dave is doing is just amazing, and this is just personal preference for me. Thanks, continue. Well, one big thing is that I love building my frames flat as possible. Also, where I can, I use the Cadex Vista without the heatsink, so as a Cadex Vista naked. And then I try to go as flat as possible. For example, let me show you another frame. This is the first frame that I did after getting back into FPV, and this is basically a 3-inch version of the Marmot from Armaten. But as there was no frame available that from Armaten that was fitting my needs, I designed my own. And here you can see that it is much more flat, and yeah. So also I'm gonna talk a bit more about this HD camera mount for the Cadex Vista camera, but that will come in a second. For now, let's get back to this here. So I like to build my frames flat, and the problem here is that you have a frame with a dead cat layout, meaning this is like a dead cat, like the head here, the arms spread apart. I've always felt this is a pretty funny name for these kind of frames, but it's very fitting. And the problem is that if I want to make this all more flat, there is not enough space for the Cadex Vista camera, the DJI camera. And then I would need to have some kind of a 3D mounted part, so the camera is up here and then it's super exposed, because if I align the motors here, then it is like there is nothing protecting it. If there is a crash, it's like, yeah, from most sides, if the impact comes from here, then bam, I'm on the camera, right? And I don't feel too confident with that, and I don't want that. Also, it looks pretty stupid if the camera is down here. That is basically my biggest issue with this frame, and also just the fact that we have two different heights here. Let's see, one is 20 millimeters, and here we have 25 millimeters, and so you need different sized spacer bolts, which is also annoying, and that is something that I don't really like too much. Apart from that, I really think the frame is great. Maybe just one minor thing, I'm using this adapter that is screwed on with separate screws on the sides, and I was hoping that these screws back here would be especially like the right size for that, which they are not. Which is a bit annoying. I know that it is probably made for a mount where you have another screw like on top of the SMA connector here that you just screw in over that and it locks down like that, which I guess would also work fine. But you know, it wouldn't be too different to make these a little bit closer together, so it fits that as well. But anyway, that's just a minor thing. The biggest issue is just the dead cat layout and reducing the height. Alright, so much about the micro long range. Now I want to talk about the mini long range, which was the other big influence, and let's hop over there. Alright, so ta-da! This is the mini long range, also from Dave C. And as you see, this frame looks quite different from the micro long range, which is mainly due to the arms being further, like the connectors of the arms are further apart from each other. And why is that? That is because Dave used bike chain bolts to connect the arms with the, oh, now you can see better, to connect the arms with the main plates. And this is quite genius. What he did, he used, basically this frame just has two arms, like this and here, they are connected. This is just a one part. And the two arms, they get together here. I don't know, it's difficult to see. But they are connected here. And so when you screw in these bolts, these two, then they are super stiff and super well connected to each other. And I really love that. That's amazing. And I definitely want to make use of that in my approach to the design as well. So that's really awesome. Regarding components, what I used here are the Brother Hobby 2004 to 2004 2100 kV, because I want to fly this with 4 cell batteries, and when I look at the characteristics and also the from the manufacturer, the tables, how much thrust they generate, I feel like 2100 kV is the best combination also between the amps that it draws and the thrust it creates, so that you can still use it with lithium ion batteries. So I feel 2100 is just perfect for that. And then I also used the same flight control here, the HG LRC. And again, with the Mamba 4-in-1 ESC board. I think this one is a bit older. This is the first one that I got with a 405 stack with 20 amps, I think, which is plenty enough for this build. Yeah, and then in the back, same GPS module, also the Biton. This time you can't see from below, but it's the Biton BN180. Buzzer, that's an issue. I wasn't able to find a really nice place for the buzzer, so I just zip tied it here to the side, which looks really not good. I will need to find a different way to do that. I know there are some designs for a 3D printed part that goes down here, which makes it look, I guess, as nice as it can get. But I don't like it that it's, I have these foam thingies as a kind of a stand, and it's higher than the foam thingy, so I don't know, it hits the ground, and I don't know, that's why I just put it on the side here, even though it looks bad. But I can easily reach it. Also, when I disconnect the battery, I can just put the button here so it doesn't beep like crazy, so that's fine. Now let's check the weight here as well. We have 196 grams, so that is around, what was that, 40 grams lighter than the 4-inch. Well, 158, 169, yeah, around 40 grams lighter. And when we look at what it weighs with the battery, then with a 3S we have 352, and with a 4S, this is getting really heavy, we are at almost 400 grams. And this frame is supposed to be flown with the 4-cell lithium-ion battery. Given the total weight, I was a bit surprised regarding the flight times, because actually I was only able to get 24 minutes of flight time out of this setup with a 4-cell lithium-ion battery. And I was hoping that I would get a bit more out of that, to be honest, because when we compare the weight and the flight time ratio, then if we just look at the weight without a battery, we have a ratio of 158 and 22 minutes with the 4-inch, which is, well, if you are into numbers, this is around 7.2 as the ratio between weight and flight time. And with this 5-inch, we have 196 versus 24 minutes and 8.16, so let's say 8.2, which is quite a lot different. And if you include the battery, with the 4-inch having this 3-cell battery, we have a ratio of 16.5. With 14.3 with a 3-cell battery and the 4-inch, and with the 5-inch, this one with the 4-cell battery, we have a 16.5. So this is quite a difference. And as in general, I'm looking to get the best performing yet lightweight setup, I feel I will need to go for the 4-inch setup further, and not for this 5-inch setup. All right, also here, what are my thoughts on the design on the frame? If you look here, Dave also used the design with 2 levels. Like up here, we again have this 20 millimeter part, and then the 24 millimeter part down here. However, given this design, it is actually possible, if you redesign the camera mount, you can get it lower than the 20 millimeters. So that's a good thing. But I still, even on this frame, I'm not too happy about this 2-level design. I don't really like why there needs to be this difference in height. And that just makes you lose space with that, because you have like this distance from here in the front. It is there. Why do I want to lose these millimeters here that I can use otherwise with for my precious electronics? And So that's one thing, and then the this camera mount here in the front. Well, you either love it or you hate it. It looks very unique, I guess you can say that. It looks a bit like, to me, it looks like a submarine or a ship window. And some people like it, some people don't like it. It is, in my opinion, definitely quite large and heavy, and but super robust. I think it can take a really strong beating, and it's nice that it also has this mount for a GoPro Naked here, which you can just yeah, put in here and then connect it with a bolt, and that's really nice. And yeah, but all in all, it is very heavy. I only have this one print, so I can't weight it right now, but I will do so when I'm talking about the construction of the frame that I designed based on this. But if you look at here again, this other copter that I designed. By the way, if you want to have more information on this, just let me know in the comments and I can make a quick video about this one as well, and also put the design in Thingiverse. I'm not sure if it is there already. I don't think so. So if you like that, please let me know. I'll gladly share this with you. And this mount is much lighter. This part for the GoPro can be removed, so that doesn't this is not any extra weight. And of course, this is more brittle, but actually from the front, it is a super strong. Like, you know, even with all my I cannot push it in further than it could reach the camera. And yeah, from this side, theoretically, it could take easier an impact. But in order to have an impact from the side, you know, first of all, there is the Immortal T, which will block the impact, and then you have also the motor and the frame here. So I can not really imagine how I would have an impact that would cause pressure from this side too much. Also, this just bends to a certain degree, so I don't know, needs to be seen, but I feel much better. This doesn't even weigh half of what this mount weighs, and when we're building long-range drones, in my opinion, we should try to go as light as possible by whatever means we can do. Like also, for example, here I'm using a damn it! No, it's not HD. It's not HDLRC. I'll put the name in the description. But this is a one-board setup. It has a flight control and the ESP board in one, and I'm using a stripped CADX Vista, so I can really go low. And I'm not even as low as I could get here, but I am at, let's see, this is 14 millimeters in height, so 6 millimeters less. And I know, yeah, maybe that sounds a bit too monkey, but it does help. Look, even if I put I mean, this frame was planned to be used with a 2S, this build with a 2S lithium ion, but if let's put the 3S here, you know, it doesn't look that crazy actually. Of course, it still looks like it's too big, but I mean, it's okay. I was trying to build a 2S long range setup, but I had a lot of issues when the voltage dropped below 6 volts and so on, so I kind of skipped that project. I will get back on this though at another time, and if you want to hear more information about this frame, let me know. Alright, so getting back to the mini long range, these different levels that we have here is something I'm not too fond of, and yeah, this camera mount. So if I take everything together, the frame that I'm going to design will be a strongly adjusted version of this mini long range 5-inch. I will reduce the size to a 4-inch build, which that change is super easy, but I will make many other changes, which I will be talking about in my next video when I'm talking about the design that ended up based on these thoughts that I had, that I just shared with you. Yeah, very much looking forward to sharing this video with you. Alright, so much about these two frames and my thoughts on them. Thank you for watching until here. I hope this was interesting enough. Please let me know what you think of this whole concept of, dividing each project into 4 phases and making a video about these. I'm very much looking forward to showing you what I came up with in the design in the next video. But I just felt like, having this background, what my thoughts are on the available options and why I came up with a different design. I think that's always interesting. And yeah, if you want to get notified when the next video comes up, then, bell icon and stuff like that. But you know the drill, so I'm not going to bore you with that. All right. Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye-bye.